Hello and welcome, whether you are returning or joining this channel for the first time. It is so good to have you. Before we dive into today's video, I do have to address a couple of things here. First, it's obviously been a while since I've uploaded. For those of you who aren't aware, I actually had a pretty severe migraine attack at the end of March and beginning of April, and that's why I didn't post any readings last month. I really tried to get stuff out to all of you, and even after the migraine attack, I was in what's called a postdrome or migraine hangover, and it was really just difficult to express myself, and that's actually what I was having before I had my attack as well. So hopefully if this ever does happen to me again, this was the first time it's ever happened, I'll at least be able to know the signs. However, this sort of does lead me into the second announcement that I feel like I need to make. I really do feel that moving forward, I am going to separate the tarot and astrology into different videos for the signs. So I will still be uploading, and in fact, potentially uploading more. But it really just became very apparent with this migraine attack that I've put myself under so much stress and strain, and I've really tried to fit everything into these neat little boxes, and honestly, it's very challenging for me to do, and I feel like moving forward, I would really like to go back kind of to the root of where I began, where it was more of an intuitive style read, while still also using astrology as well, because I do feel like they're both very useful tools that can help orient a lot of things for us. And so I think sometimes too these messages can get just like repetitive, and of course I feel like whenever I do a tarot reading, it's always going to incorporate astrological elements anyways. That's just how my brain works. But I think it's nice to kind of dial that back and just let that more flow in naturally. So that might be something that may not even be much of a big deal to all of you. Maybe it's just kind of a bigger deal to me because I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I appreciate all the support that you have given this channel, and actually a lot of people did reach out to me, ask me how I was doing, and I really, really appreciate that. If you would like to support this channel, definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification. That not only helps you stay up to date with what's in the cards for you, but it also helps spread these messages and energies that you may think be helpful for other people. So they're kind of your tools as well. And I do have a link in the description of this video for my website where you can book a personal reading or distance Reiki session, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. Hey Aquarius. While I was tuning into your energy and shuffling the deck, I just had an entire face journey of just 2 cards that have come out already. We will pull some more in just a moment here. But the first one that came out was the 8 of Cups in reverse. And very clearly, I got the message that you are not meant to walk away from this. And this was actually really interesting because I feel like a lot of the time in readings, people will hear like there's this need to walk away from a relationship or a situation that's no longer serving you, but there's something in your life, Aquarius, that you are not actually meant to walk away from. It feels like there is something that you need to face or address in, I don't want to say in head on, but very directly. And the card that I pulled to clarify this was the Devil in reverse. Oh boy. So it feels like what this devil could represent could be different for some of you. To be honest, though, it feels like some of you really are stuck in a situation, and it's actually not about getting out of it right now. Maybe that'll happen later, but there is something that you are supposed to do in order to advocate for yourself. And obviously, use your discretion, use your intuition here. Don't do that if you're actually in danger in some way. But it feels like there is something about you confronting someone or something that scares you. Maybe this is about doing your shadow work as well. I am so curious to see what comes out for you, Aquarius. I definitely Wow, this just surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. Interesting. Four of Cups coming out here too. Yeah, there's something here that you're not seeing yet. Because it feels like there is some sort of toxic energy, and there is something that you are meant to learn or integrate here. I need to clarify what this devil is. Let's actually start there. What does this devil represent for Aquarius? Show us clearly, please. And it's actually kind of interesting because at the start of this month, we do have Pluto going retrograde in your sign. And for the last time this year, Pluto is going to go retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, where it was since 2008. And Capricorns went through this major transformation, rebirth, maybe some death along the process as well, some letting go of things for the sake of rebirth. And you now have Pluto freshly in your sign, but it's going to be going back into Capricorn. And for you, this is your astrological 12th house of your bad habits, the things that don't serve you. But it's like you're actually recognizing what those things are. And you're really getting to the core of them. What does this represent for Aquarius? Ace of Wands in reverse. I feel like you're giving your energy away, your creative energy, or honestly even sexual energy for some of you. And I don't mean that to like slut shame anyone. But it's like, I do think there is kind of a reality. Like, you don't necessarily want to share your energy with anybody, or you don't want to squander your creative energy, because creative and sexual energy are very much one and the same in a lot of ways. And it feels like you've been putting it in the wrong places. And maybe not channeling some part of you. Tell us more about this devil in reverse. Interesting Wheel of Fortune. This is all about ending cycles, stepping into new cycles. And you haven't been able to walk away from something, and you're not supposed to. What does this mean? Bear with me, guys. We're going to get to the bottom of this, okay? What is the message here for Aquarius? King of Pentacles. There will be a change here. There will be a shift here. You will become very stable, very solid, very secure, maybe even very abundant. You've given your power away, or you're giving your power away by not addressing something directly. I keep getting that. This could be involving a Capricorn energy, could also be Taurus or Virgo. Wheel of Fortune, we actually do have your sign in here. It's also Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. But there is something that is changing, and it's like, let's see. Is it you? What are the energies for Aquarius? Show us clearly, please. Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of confusion. Okay. So, Aquarius, this is kind of a nuanced reading, because there is something in your life that you are meant to be doing, or that you are meant to learn from. But there's like light and shadow in it. You can still want something that is aligned for you, and there are still parts of you that want it for the wrong reasons. So there is some major shadow work that is going on for you. And I think that's actually going to kind of be taking place over the rest of this year. So maybe even the month of May, you're kind of hearing this, or this is kind of in your orbit, but it's not really landing until much later. I would suspect maybe around September through October, maybe even save this video and come back to it later. But it feels like you need to really get in touch with the full range of your motivation for why you do certain things, or engage in certain behaviors, or even connect with certain people, because there's a light and a shadow aspect. This is definitely a month for you to do some shadow work, okay? I want to see what else comes in. Maybe we'll get a little more here. What else do we have for Aquarius? Wow, we do have the Emperor. So you really are meant to step up into a very powerful position. But you're also needing to integrate some major shadows or traumas. I'm getting a lot of you want to hide. You wanted to stay hidden because that felt like being safe. Oh my God. And the message I just got is that, ironically, that's the thing that has kept you in dangerous situations or relationships, because it's like you've just hidden yourself and you withdrew. Interesting. But yeah, Emperor energy. Aquarius, I'm really just getting spiritual teacher vibes for you. And you have had to go through some really painful initiations, and maybe you're still in that, or maybe there's layers of that you're still kind of unraveling. But I see this Emperor, and I see someone who is meant to step in their own power, and it's like, you're not gonna be this person who you're afraid of with the devil. Because there is someone who may have been toxic to you, or was just not a great person, but there was something about them that you were meant to embody for yourself. And you are actually meant to do it the correct way, the aligned way. Interesting. Interesting. What else do we have for Aquarius here? Show us clearly, please. This card was popping out a moment ago too, the Seven of Swords in reverse, which can be someone being caught for their deception or trickery. But this is also not being able to walk away and escape. This is an energy that wants to run and hide and kind of sneak around and get things done. You can't do that anymore, Aquarius. And even if you're having a hard time understanding what I've been talking about so far, the thing you're really meant to take away right now is that you are not supposed to run from something. You need to address things head on in life. Maybe this isn't even about one thing, and maybe that's why this feels kind of vacuous for some of you. But your guides are talking. There is like a voice coming through in this reading, and it is like, I'm going to be real. Your guides, those of you who I'm connecting with, you have guides who just tell it like it is. they do not sugarcoat things. And for those of you who connect on that level with that Four of Cups, it's like you don't even want to hear the messages that they have been giving you. But you need to integrate some shadow. And maybe that's through therapy, maybe that's through doing shadow work. What else do we have for Aquarius? I mean, astrologically, there's a lot about your conscious mind that's coming up too this month, because we have a lot of planets moving through Aries. We have Mercury, Mars, as well as Chiron and the North Node. No wonder all of these messages are coming in. Okay, so the astrology is actually helping me here right now. Mars is all about direct action. Mercury is about communication. The North Node is about stepping out of your comfort zone. And Chiron is that kind of sensitivity, that sort of like wound, if you will. And there's that kind of vulnerability. You want to recoil, you want to hide. But Aries energy for you, Aquarius, represents communication. You are going to be having some major talks this month. And now this is also making sense. Thank you for bearing with me, those of you who had to stick it out. We got there. Four of Cups. It took us a minute, but we got what was coming through. This could be about another person. This Devil card and this Eight of Cups in reverse. There is someone who needs to hear what you have to say. And it may feel like a conversation you have been trying to avoid. You cannot do this anymore. And honestly, Aquarius, this feels like a friend, actually, for a lot of you. Also, sort of referencing a little bit of what's going on in the astrology. We do have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd, which could be representing some sort of climax or culmination between you and a friend, or even a group of people. But there needs to be, like, a big, major talk. And I really want to ask you, why are you avoiding certain conversations? Or what conversations do you avoid in general? Because that is something that you are definitely going to be confronted with this month, whether that's through situations or just some sort of mirror. Maybe there's someone else who's doing this around you, but it feels like the universe is showing you need to express yourself in a different way. You need to express your authority, and you're not going to be able to do this by walking around eggshells or sugarcoating things. It doesn't mean you have to be cruel. It doesn't mean that you have to be a jerk to somebody, but it does mean that you need to be very direct. Because I feel like there's been a situation that's been going on for some time. Maybe you've kind of been watching behind the scenes, or just kind of hoping that someone's going to learn their lesson. Honestly, Aquarius, I feel like you are meant to share your perspective with this person. You are meant to kind of lay it down. And you know what? Could also be happening in the reverse as well. You might be opening the door to conversations you didn't even know had to happen. Okay, so yeah, that all came out. It's actually funny to me how energetically I was really kind of struggling to get to the core of what was going on, because there was kind of this like spiral. I was kind of like circling around this for some time, and that feels like what communication has felt like. Queen of Swords. This is the challenge, but also kind of like what you're being asked to do this month, which is speaking directly. The Queen of Swords is someone who has a very keen mind, sometimes does have a sharp tongue, but it's like saying what you need to say and no more. That is kind of the advice here. And the truth is, what you say might trigger someone no matter what. It's not your responsibility to even control your reaction in that moment. Or, I'm sorry, their reaction in that moment. You can only control your reaction. But I feel like when the dust settles, when you say what you need to say to this friend, could be another person, but I really do feel like this is a friend, or at least someone who's kind of part of a community. I'm actually also getting kind of like sibling energy for some of you as well, whether this person is like a sibling to you or literally a sibling, that could be it as well. Regardless of who this person is, when you say what you need to say, and there's kind of a reaction, maybe there's a fight, I do feel like the truth lands. You cut where it needs to be cut with surgical precision. Wow. Knight of Swords, actually showing up in reverse. And this is someone who often is kind of in their ego, rushes into things, likes to prove themselves. And that's the thing, like, I feel like someone is really gonna resist something you have to say. You can't rush into a conversation or rush a conclusion for somebody else either. So I actually do feel like there is some patience, which, funny enough, isn't something I feel like this group really struggles with. It's kind of, maybe you've been too patient, actually, with this person, or just in relationships in general. Like, I don't think you're being brazen by speaking your mind. I think you've thought about things for a while. Wow. Okay. Any other messages for Aquarius? Anything aside from this? Because there's actually, while there is certainly some tense astrology with all of this Aries energy, with Mars and the North Node, Mercury, Chiron, all that stuff we talked about, we do actually have some really nice things happening this month as well. We do have a new moon in Taurus, as well as Jupiter and Venus coming together in Taurus on the 23rd, which just so happens to be the same day as the full moon in Sagittarius. So for you, this could really be kind of a new emotional beginning or foundation. There's actually the potential that some of you could be moving or manifesting a dream home. It feels like there's some really beautiful thing happening in your personal life, because that's what Taurus energy is. It's the most personal part of your life. Your home life, your private life. There is a major, major blessing because Jupiter is all about expansion, luck, growth. Venus is about beauty, love, abundance. There could even be something with marriage or like a domestic partnership for some of you as well. Does not feel connected to this person. I just have to say that. But it felt like this is a very real situation in your life as well. But there is a lot of luck here. Page of Pentacles. There's also a lot of luck by starting projects, by learning new skills, by really applying yourself. And yeah, it's like that kind of came in earlier. Like, where are you putting your energy, and how could you put your energy to something that's actually going to be stable for you in the future, or help you make a future that you want? Wow. Okay. Tell us about luck. Yes, we have the Four of Wands. There is definitely a celebration or something very exciting for you this month, Aquarius. Actually, this can be a marriage card sometimes, just saying. Felt like that might be a thing. But it just feels like you are celebrating something personally in your life. What is this celebration about? What is this Four of Wands? What is tied into this celebration? Page of Cups. Yeah. I do feel like there is a relationship in the horizon for you, or a relationship going to the next level. And even if you're single and there's no one in your life now, or even in the month of May, Jupiter is going to be entering into Gemini on the 25th. It's going to be there for the rest of the year. This is a great time for you to meet someone romantically, to go on dates, to kind of put yourself out there, to also just reconnect to your own creativity as well. And I mean, Jupiter-Venus conjunction is just a great day for manifestation. And even with the full moon in Sagittarius, for you, this is very much about synchronicity. So if you're feeling called to do something, or you're invited to go somewhere or do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, really follow and act on that intuition this month, okay? You could be meeting someone, or there could just be something that's really near and dear to your heart that's kind of growing here. Anything else for Aquarius? Wasn't all bad, right? We do have some good things, I promise, but we need to talk. That was like the first message that came out. Two of Wands. Yeah, you're planning your future and you're feeling really good about things. And, you know, even though this conversation or this change in communication style might feel very intimidating or scary, especially if this is coming from childhood trauma, this is actually something that could be healed. A lot of you are healing your inner child with this Taurus energy this month as well, and it's helping you look forward to the future. The future is just looking brighter. You're making plans, and you're excited about these things. I feel like there's some sort of announcement that is coming in this month. Maybe you are announcing someone, or someone else is announcing marriage. That keeps coming up. There's just something that feels really, really positive. I also was kind of getting like baby or birth, or just something being born into the world, if it's not a literal birth, something being created. I feel like there's just good news. And like, you're feeling lighter. You're feeling more powerful than ever. Oh my God, 10 of Cups. This is all about harmony. This is, again, traditionally often considered a marriage card or a long-term relationship card. Obviously, it's 2024, so this may be a little bit of a different interpretation for your own situation or your own life, but the 10 of Cups really does indicate finding home, finding family. And actually, by having these hard conversations, you are fixing a relationship as well, even with a friend or whoever this is with. Sometimes conflict brings you closer together. I do need to say that to you, Aquarius. I know I'm a conflict avoidant person too, naturally. It's not easy for me. I don't think it's really easy for most people. But it feels like there is a conversation that's going to be hard in the moment, but it's ultimately going to bring a lot of good. So I hope that this is empowering you to speak from your heart more freely, to speak authentically more freely. Where are we at with timing? Okay, so we are getting close to the cutoff point. I do want to pull an oracle card for you, however. I'm going to pull an animal card. Any other messages for Aquarius? Any last bits of advice or any other messages? We have the Whale. So this is all about the depths, the emotional depths. Something has been underwater for too long, something very big that is coming to surface. But as the Whale, you are actually very capable to have this conversation. And in fact, I think you're more equipped to speak on this level, Aquarius, than most other people. So it's actually kind of funny that there's been this sort of reticence or resistance. This is your superpower. And, you know, even though the Whale does need to come up for air, and that for people means needing to engage in self-care, that does not mean that the Whale is not at home or in its element in the depths. There is this kind of process here of diving and then coming back up, revealing something for the rest of humanity, for the collective, sharing your voice, sharing your song. You are meant to help people who are struggling in this life, and it feels like there is someone who is really struggling. And honestly, I'm kind of getting maybe something with addiction, or just like, ooh, could be an abusive relationship, like something really bad that needs to change, or just like a really toxic pattern, and you're going to be able to help this person. And maybe they're even giving you a bit of a reflection as well. That could be surprising. So stay humble in this. We're all growing in different ways. We're all in different phases of our journeys. We all have different journeys. But I do feel like there's some very open and powerful channels of communication coming into play for you this month. And honestly, while it may feel hard and heavy, which sometimes is the whale energy, it doesn't have to be that way. You just need to come up for air. You need to be honest. You need to share your voice. And that's going to help let go of the weight. Because you've carried something for a long time, Aquarius. I really, really get that. And I think you're a good person. I think you're good people. I get that from the collective. And it's just been like, you've really hoped that someone would figure something out, but it feels like there needs to be more of a conversation. Anyways, Aquarius, I do hope that this was helpful. I do hope that this wasn't too heavy. I hope it finally made sense for you, and maybe there will be some more insight down the road as well, because I do feel like there's still some interesting shadow work at play for you this year, and even maybe this month. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe, especially if you've made it this far. Helps me share these messages with other people, these maybe a bit challenging or difficult messages. And you can find links in the description of this video for personal readings or distance Reiki sessions. You can book that on my website. And I will see you all in the next video. I'm wishing you a very happy and blessed May, Aquarius. Oh, and you're also more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe there's some messages for your moon and rising sign. And with that, I bid you adieu. Take care.